Hi everyone, thanks for joining me again on another painting tutorial. We've been working on this hardboard. It's just a little piece of hardboard and it's shaped in the state of California. And on Tuesday I uploaded how we went over the detail in all of these cliffs. Today I'm going to go over how I got the detail in this shoreline. So stick around, can't wait, it's going to be fun. Grab your paintbrush and let's go paint. Right now I'm just mixing some ultramarine blue with some titanium white, and right here we want to start by making the shadows in the waves first. So I'm just dabbing on a darker color to create some waves, and right here I'm going to start to make some waves in the ocean as well. And I'm using just a liner brush, and I went back and forth between a round number 5 and a fan brush to try and get the right dots that I wanted. And that's something that you just have to play around with. If one paintbrush isn't working for you, change it up. Something might work better. So right now I'm just going into a very light mix of titanium white and some ultramarine blue with a little bit of phthalo green. I really love phthalo green when working with an ocean scene because it gives that nice, beautiful emerald green or a sea greenish color depending on how you mix the titanium white in with it. So there's a lot of liquid in this, so it might look like it's going on bright at the moment, but we can always bring it back down, make it a little darker when we glaze over top of it. And creating an ocean has a lot of depths, so we're going to do this by layer. And this little mark that I'm making here is going to be a wave that's coming in, the second wave coming in that's going to crash on the ocean, or it's going to crash on the shoreline. And the way we want to do it, you want to make sure, pay attention to the direction. The wave has to follow the shoreline or it's not going to look right. So right now, there's a lot of little waves and bumps throughout the ocean. So I'm just getting those in right now, and I'm putting them in with the same color with the light, with the titanium white, phthalo blue, phthalo green, and ultramarine blue. And I'm slowly just starting to build up individual waves. The other thing to keep in mind is the further back you go, the smaller and shorter the waves are going to get. And that's how we're going to create the illusion of depth within our ocean. I'm moving between a liner brush is what I'm adding all of the waves with, and then I go in with a small round brush and I just smooth those out individually. I feel when I use a smaller round brush like this to blend, I feel like I have more control over what direction I'm blending and how well I'm blending it instead of using a big mop brush, especially on little tiny details like this. I normally save my mop brush for blending the sky, or like in the very beginning when we first laid down our underpainting, I blended the whole ocean, all these colors together, I blended those in with the mop brush. So when I'm working on big surfaces is when I take out my mop brush. So I'm still working with the liner brush, the same colors, and I'm just defining all these little areas more and more. Now I'm making a burnt umber with some titanium white, and I'm going in to make all the shadows a lot darker. I want the setting sun to show intensity, so I'm creating harsher and darker shadows for the rocks, as well as a little bit of shadow that the wave is coming off of, and when sand is wet, it also gets darker. So I'm using that too to blend in with the sand. Now I've added a lot of liquid to this, and I'm going to glaze over these rocks and darken up a lot of the areas that need shadows. Because this is such a big area that I want to cover, I've switched to my round brush to add these shadows in on the rocks. Now I've zoomed in so you can see a lot of the detail. I'm working with a liner brush and I'm going in and dotting on a lot of different places where sea foam is going to start to occur. And I'm still working with that Liquitex liner brush to create all these. You don't want to go too overboard, but you do want to show that there is a lot of foam, and your eye will create an illusion. If you just do a few drops here and there, your eye and your brain will fill in the rest of the detail. So that's why you don't need to go too overboard with a million dots to create this. And be careful as well when you're working with water. You always want to work in a horizontal line because water naturally levels itself out. Still working with that liner brush, and I am still using the very light blue mixture. This is not straight titanium white. The reason why it looks so white is because it's next to this dark color. We want to save our titanium white and our brights to the very end. Now I'm highlighting all these rocks to lighten them all up as well, just to show some more intensity from that sun. I'm going back in again with that burnt umber dark mix, and I'm glazing over and adding a lot of shadows to this foreground area to show that it's closest to the viewer. The more color, the more shadows, the more highlights that you have, save them for the foreground of your paintings. You want the darkest and the lightest to be closest to the viewer, and that will show depth in your painting. I'm still working with that liner brush. I haven't cleaned it all because I went into a darker color. And this I'm creating a dark green, so I still have not changed my brush nor have I cleaned it. I always wait to clean my brushes till the very end. and I'm just dabbing on and creating little textures throughout this bush. Because they were already light, I had the lightest color on there. So I'm just going in and dabbing. I'm not filling in the whole bush. And this is creating texture with very little effort. So I'm going to keep working with this and adding layers and defining the ocean and the waves a little bit more. But that's all there is to it.
So that was really fun to do, and if you like this video, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified every single time I upload a new video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!